Hi folks, this is Rod Charles here at Oxford High School, Oxford Natatorium, Oxford, Michigan, home of the Lone Ranger, as we all know. We're here for a swim meet tonight between the Oxford Wildcats and Avondale. About ready to get started here. We've been late because of, as they say in business, the technical issues. We're going to have Emily Silvas sing the national anthem in a few minutes. Emily's a senior here at the high school. Emily's a great singer, fantastic singer. She's a senior. So tonight's meet, Emily will be singing the Star Spangled Banner by herself since she is a senior. And Emily is, at this point, contemplating going to Central Michigan University following graduation, possibly looking for some kind of a major in entrepreneurship. But in the meantime, we need some entrepreneurial work on our electronic system. Emily, let's come on over here for a minute. Let's take a minute. Let's come over and talk for a few minutes just to get a couple pearls of wisdom. Emily, there's our cameraman, Mr. John Ochen's up there. You want to tell us a little bit about how you got started in singing?
Singing? I've actually sang my whole life, and it really started in my church, and it grew from there. I did Super Singers in elementary with Miss Mueller in Oxford, and I also traveled up into the middle school choir, and then I started in high school, and I traveled from the concert choir, which you don't need to audition. I auditioned for women's choir, I got into that, and I auditioned for vocal expressions and got into that. So that's where I'm singing for now.
And what other kind of singing do you plan on doing?
I like singing classical music, but right now I'm about ready to sing the national anthem. So. All
right, well, let you get the national anthem going. Are we going to have a microphone for you? Can you hold two microphones at one time? I'll hold one right by you. How's that?
Oxford Wildcats. The Avondale coaches are head coach Justin Gray, assistant coach Mr. Bruca, and dive coach Sydney Levitt. Captains are Flo Rickich and Dana Raquel. Our own Oxford team, Jackie Rick, our head coach, assisted by Anna and Chuck Chernstrom. Our captains, junior captain Daniela, senior captain Emily Silvas, and senior captain Kayla Brooks. Our officials tonight are Debbie Butler-Plasters and Jason Lushevitz. Please rise and then gentlemen remove your hats for the national anthem that will tonight be sung by our own beautiful Emily Silvas.
Oh, sing, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Emily, one last thing here. What is your definition of classical music?
Anything with long notes and sounds great.
All right, we'll let you get ready for swimming. Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, folks, here we go. First race, the 200-yard medley relay. That's 8 lengths, 2 lengths back, 2 breast, 2 fly, and 2 freestyle. Oxford's in even lanes. In lane 2, we have Paisley Arendt, Emily Silvas, who just sang for us, Emily Viken, and Marissa Bourne. Lane 4, Bella Gianola, Rachel Baker, Rachel Cummins, and Christina Boydston. Lane 6 for the Wildcats. Let's see here, we have Tate Hamilton, Victoria McClendon, Claire Alexander, and Hannah Schoenfeld. Lane 7 for the Wildcats, Emily Hamilton, Kaylin Griffith, Paige Hodder, and Anna DiMeglio. So Oxford's in the even lanes with the exception of lane 7. Jason Leshevich is getting ready to get us started tonight. 200-yard medley relay. The backstrokers are going to start the race. 2 lengths backstroke, followed by breast, then fly, then crawl stroke. I like to tell people the flags that are draped across the pool are there not for decoration, but they're there for the backstrokers. They can tell how far from the end of the pool they are.
Take your mark.
And away they go. It's always interesting to me to note that in backstroke nowadays, the backstrokers at their start and their turn, they go a long ways underwater. Okay, it looks like the Wildcats have a big lead right now over there in lane 4. Also, lanes 2, lane 6, and lane 7 not too far behind. Relay races are scored 8-4-2. Okay, the breaststrokers are going. We always like to share with people that the breaststrokers, like the butterflies, must touch the wall with both hands at the same time. Otherwise, they're disqualified and lose all points. Right now, Oxford's got 1, 2, 3. That would give them 12 points. Okay, now the butterfliers. Oxford's got 1, 2, and 4. As I just mentioned, butterfliers have to touch the wall with both hands simultaneously. Scoring again on the relays. It's 8 points for first, 4 for second. Third gets 2. Fourth gets 0. So it's critical to get first place. And getting 1, 2 is even better. So if things pan out, Oxford will get 12. Avondale will get 2 out of this race. And it looks like Oxford's got a huge lead. We're going to pick up a 1, 2, 3. Now only our first 2 relays is going to score points. Nice race. Good time up there on the board. Let's see what it ends up being. Looks like about a 2:08. Hard to tell. 2:10. I have to say this once again. I see some very good swimming across the board, both Oxford and the Yellow Jackets from Avondale. Some nice technique.
And the winner, Oxford, Janella, Commons, Baker, Wilson.
Our next race is the 200 freestyle. 8 lengths of the pool. 200 yards. Each pool length is 25 yards. That's typical pool length in the United States. Olympic pools are 50 meters. Once again, this is OCTV, channel 191, AT&T channel 99. Our officials tonight, Debbie Bunker Plasters. Debbie's from Lake Orion, otherwise known as Lower Oxford. Jason, originated from the Flint area. Jason now lives in South Oakland County. Jason Leshevich.
Mr. Starter.
Okay, 200 freestyle, 8 lengths, as we said. Lane 2, Gracie Beebe. Lane 4, Bella Gianola. 6, Victoria McLennan. And lane 8, that's the far side from the pool, is Paige Hodder. Not from the pool, I apologize. That's the farthest side from the camera. Okay, Jason's telling them to get ready.
Take your mark.
Okay, 200-yard freestyle. Once again, Oxford Wildcats against the Avondale Yellow Jackets. Oxford, for the most part, will be in the even lanes. Okay, that first 50 was about a 29.5 for our lead swimmer in lane 4, Bella. You watch Bella there in lane 4, you see some nice technique. You watch, you see her head will turn slightly to the side when she grabs a breath. When you're breathing in competition swimming, you don't want your head to lift up in front of you. You want to turn to the side so you don't waste energy or create more resistance. And just looking at the swimmers now, remember they're going to breathe to the side. They want to be blowing bubbles out underwater through their nose and their mouth, and then when they turn, they want to make it a quick turn of the head to the side so they can grab some oxygen. Another thing you'll watch in competition swimming that you won't see in recreation swimming is the swimmers will breathe out of both sides. That's something that Coach Rank has worked on for several years with the swimmers here at Oxford. One of the benefits of both sides is it allows you to see where your competition is. And a convincing victory by Oxford in that race, lane 4. By the way, Bella, for those people who are Oxford sports fans, might remember seeing Bella at some of the wrestling meets while her brothers were on the Wildcat wrestling teams. Here we come. Let's pick up some points for the Wildcats. Okay, we do. And Oxford, 1, 2, 3. Good swim by the Wildcats there. There's some pretty tired people in the water right now.
Freestyle from Oxford, Bella Gianola with a time of 2 minutes, 08.7.
Bella had a 2:08.7 on that victory.
Event 3 is called 200-yard IM. E1 of 1.
Next race is going to be the 200 individual medley, the IM. It's a medley, meaning all 4 strokes are involved. So in the individual medley, we start with the butterfly. Here again, they're going to start on the blocks, do the fly. Then they're going to turn over onto their backs, 2 lengths backstroke, followed by 2 lengths breaststroke, finished by the freestyle. Our officials, once again, Debbie Bunker-Plasters and Jason Lashevich. Head coach for the Oxford Wildcats, Jackie Rank. And we have helping Jackie, Chuck and Anna Chernstrom. Captains, Emily Sovis, Danielle Kemp, and Kayla Krebs. The Avondale coach is Justin Gray. Assistant coach, Booth Looks like Sydney Booth and Sydney Levy, and the captains are Flo Gwynpinich and Dana Rickel, pardon me. Right now, as we wait for the IM to start, I see Jason Leshevitz, our head official, and Debbie Bunker-Plasters over here at the scoring table. They're looking at the scoreboard. As I mentioned, we've had some technical issues tonight, unfortunately, so they want to make sure that everything is working right. If you look at the bulkhead, we have this electronic system in Oxford, but you notice there's also parents who are timing. Very important, because if something doesn't work, we want to have a backup system. So we've got a pretty nice group of parents who spend time and work during the meet helping out. One of the great things about watching swimming and diving here over the years, I've noticed, is that there's been some very good parent groups here that provide a lot of support to the coaches and the kids. Once again, this is Oxford Community Television, Channel 191, AT&T, Channel 99, OCCTV.org. Here we are at Oxford High School, the Oxford Natatorium. That's the official name for a swimming pool, for those of us who don't speak Latin. Station manager for OCTV is Mr. Bill Service. Bill is the station manager. The phone number, if you'd like to buy a copy of the broadcasts, not just this, but any broadcast, 248-628-9658. 248-628-9658. Following the IM, we'll have the freestyle, the 50 freestyle, diving, and tonight is senior night, last home meet for the swimmers and divers for this season. They've only had 3 home meets this season. And that's not counting the conference championship for the OAA. Okay, let's get ready to roll. So Jason's calling everybody up, blowing the whistle, telling the timers to get their watches cleared. Telling the swimmers to get up on the blocks. Let's put some names behind the goggles. For the Wildcats in lane 2, that's closest to the camera, is Hannah Schoenfeld. Lane 4, Claire Alexander. Lane 6, Rachel Baker. And lane 8, Kaylin Griffith. 8 lengths. Okay. 2 lengths fly. Now we're going to have 2 lengths backstroke. Oxford's in the even lanes. So lane closest to the camera is lane 1. There's no one swimming lane 1 in this race. Then Oxford then goes 2, 4, 6, 8. We always like to point out one of the great things about the sport of swimming and diving is that everybody gets a chance to participate. Everybody can be a star. It doesn't matter if you're first place or 8th place, because it's all about personal improvement. All right, now the breaststroke is coming up after the back. Long underwater turn. The lungs burn. You're racing hard. You're putting everything into it. Your legs are tired. Your arms are tired. And your lungs are burning. And then you make a turn and you have to go underwater. Very difficult to hold your breath, but that's why they work out. Build up that endurance. Right now, it looks like a 1-2-3 sweep for the Wildcats. Get out the brooms. Okay, freestyle coming up next. 2 lengths. So far, Oxford's just dominated this meet. No question about it. It's not been close in any race yet. And Oxford picks up a first place. All right, Oxford picks up a second place, and looks like we're going to get a third and a fourth. A big sweep. So Oxford takes it all the way across the board. Our next race is the sprint race. 2 lengths, 50 yards. Should be an all-out race. And that was Claire Alexander taking that race. Now there's 3 heats of the 50. We have 4 Oxford swimmers. Lane 3. Anna DiMeglio, lane 4, Tate Hamilton, lane 5, Kate Marsh, lane 6, Victoria Provo. That'll be heat 1. We're waiting while the officials just verify the results from the previous race. As we mentioned before during our broadcast, one of the things we are fortunate to have here in Oxford is a pool that you have the races going on in the pool, but right next door we have the diving tank. So swimmers can stay a little bit loose
Mr. Starter.
between races. Okay, here we go. 50-yard freestyle. And away they go. 2 lengths. 50 freestyle, the shortest race in competition swimming at this level. Should see a strong, hard kick. A lot of fast turn over those arms. Nice, crisp turn. Some good swimming here. You know, when you look at a swim race, what you're seeing is a result of a lot of good coaching and a lot of arduous workouts. And workouts aren't just endurance, but you have to work on technique, the proper breathing, kicking, the arms, getting those elbows up high in the sky. The breathing technique, side to side, as we mentioned earlier, that takes time and effort. Okay, late. Now we have heat 2 coming up. There's 3 heats in this race. Lane 2 is Emma DiMolenta. Lane 4, Sophia Wirtz. Lane 7, Natalie Marsala. And lane 8, far side from the camera, is Paisley Arendt. 50 yards. Kind of unusual thing over there in lane 3, if you notice. The Avondale swimmer is starting in the pool. I have to admit, I haven't seen that ever in a competition. But one of the nice things about this sport, as I mentioned before, is that everybody gets a chance to get in the pool and get some experience in it. Everyone gets wet. Okay, good technique there. Wow. Very impressive swimming. Now we're going to have our third and final heat of the 50 freestyle. That's just before we start the diving.
Heat 2 is facing Arnett of Oxford and time of 31:11 seconds. Heat 3 of 3. Quiet from start, Mr. Starter.
Okay, lane 2, Emily Viken. Lane 4, Christina Boydston. Lane 6, Emily Silvis. And lane 8, Kayla Krebs. 2 lengths. As I said, this is an all-out race. You do not hold anything back on a race like this. Look at the intensity of that kicking. And it looks like Avondale has achieved its first over there in lane 5 with a 27.19. The Avondale swimmer. Second by the Wildcats was 29.2. Third was 30.1, and fourth was 31.8. So that tells you how tight of a race something like a 50 freestyle can be. Now the diving is about ready to begin. They get a few minutes to warm up. What I want to do is just kind of get ready to set the fulcrum on the board. If you look at the diving board, if we can look at the diving board a little bit, John, you see the diving board there? It's made out of steel. You see the diver up there adjusting with their right foot. You know, and obviously with the fulcrum, that's going to determine the amount of spring. That's an individual thing. Every diver is going to be a little bit different. Depends on the diver's own physique. Depends on the kind of dive they want to get. How much spring do they want to get from the board? The board used at the high school level is a 1 meter diving board. There's also 3 meter diving, and there's 10 meter platform. So 10 meter platform, you'll see that in the Olympics. That's pretty darn high, 10 meters. So when you do a 10 meter dive, you better make sure you pull it off right. You don't want to do a belly smacker off a 10 meter platform. But in the meantime, here at Oxford and most high schools in the United States, we use 1 meter diving boards. So let's take a quick break while the divers get used to everything, get their fulcrums where they want to be, and we'll take it off for right now. Once again, Rod Charles on the microphone, Mr. John Ochen's the camera, Oxford versus Avondale. We have the diving right now.
1.6.
First diver for the Yellow Jackets, doing a reverse dive tuck. It's Alex Pinich. It's a reverse dive, as we mentioned. You come off the board and you have your body go backwards. Our official, Jason Leskevich, is coming over to the scorer's table to check on something. Right now, the scoreboard isn't functioning. And while Jason's checking on the electronics here at the scorer's table, let's just mention we have 3 diving judges. Typically, it's a representative from each team and an official. So tonight we have a coach for the Avondale Yellow Jackets. We have Coach Jackie Rank for the Oxford Wildcats, and our official, Jason Leskevich. Our second diver will be Kara Veltigian for Oxford. She will be doing a reverse dive tuck position. And the difficulty rating on this is 1.6. So one of the things to look at in diving, you take the scores that the 3 judges give each diver, multiply that by the degree of difficulty. That gives you the score the diver has earned for each dive. So a critical element is obviously how well they perform the dive, but it's also important that you have a degree of difficulty that gives you a larger multiplier. So if you get a 5, you get scored a 5 on a 1.4 dive, and you get a 4 on a 2.3 dive, there's going to be a difference in points that it could win the meet for somebody. It's one of the things that coaches work on, is getting your basics, but also getting enough of a difficult dive repertoire that you can rack up some points during a diving meet. A previous diver had a 5, a 6, and a 5. Her total was 25.6 on her performance.
0-1C, reverse dive in tuck position, 1.6 degree of difficulty.
Very nice dive. Easily a 6 in my book. And the judges go 5.5, 7.5, 6.5. So we're going to average that at 6.5, giving her 31.2. Our next diver for the Wildcats, Jenna Zeider, also doing reverse dive tuck. And the DD is 1.6. Nice dive. A little bit short on when she came off the board. If you notice, her feet weren't quite at the end of the board where she'd probably want them to be. Scores were 6, 5.5, 4.5, giving her 25.6. Next diver is for the Avondale Yellow Jackets. Doing the same dive, reverse dive, tuck, 1.6 difficulty. Nice dive by Sonia. Earning her a 6.5, a 6, and a 6, so she's getting a 29.6.
For our second dive, Alex will be doing
second round of diving coming up.
0-2C, reverse, with 1 somersault in the tuck position, degree of difficulty 1.6.
Alex Krapinich, reverse dive with a somersault, tuck position. The difficulty rating on this is 1.6. Nice dive, very nice dive. She gets a 6.5, a 6, and a 6 for a grand total of 29.6. Okay, we got a little break here right now in the action while Jason comes over to check on the electronics.
It's still showing us the last
I think those scores we just were provided were actually for the last dive, so we better check on that. For all those folks at home keeping score. Our next diver is going to be Kara Veltigian. She's going to be doing an inner dive, 1 somersault, tuck,
Kara's second dive tonight
1.6. By the way, the previous diver had 6 from all 3 judges for a grand total of 28.8. That was a correction there based on the scoreboard. So the previous dive, she earned a 6 from all 3 judges for a total of 28.8. So Kara's up to bat. Nice dive. Probably could have got a little more height up the board. She could have got a straighter entry, but all in all, very nice dive. 6, 5.5, 6 for a grand total of 28 points earned on that dive. Jenna representing the Wildcats. Doing an inward dive, somersault, tuck position. 1.6 is the difficulty rating. Very nice dive. I'm thinking that she's going to get at least a 6.5 on that. And she gets a 7.5, a 6 and a 7. 32.8, so she got some nice points out of that. Now we have Sonia for the Avondale team coming up. She's adjusting the fulcrum. She's doing a reverse dive. Same thing, 1 somersault, tuck, 1.6. Five, 4.5. Her total was 23.2. Alex Grapinich for Avondale's doing a forward dive, 1.5 somersaults, pike, 1.7 difficulty rating. It's a nice dive. Looks very nice when it's pulled off correctly. There you go. Pretty much pretty good dive on that. Legs could have a little bit straighter coming into the water. Keeping those feet together. And the judges give her 7, 7, 7. She better go buy a lottery ticket.
Back dive, tuck position, degree of difficulty 1.5.
Okay. Kiara for the Oxford Wildcats. Back dive. Tuck. 1.5 degree of difficulty. Nice job. Very nice job. This judge says 6. Let's see what the official judges say. 6, 6, 5, giving her 25.5. Jenna is coming up. Doing a back dive. Tuck position. 1.5 degree of difficulty. Nice dive. You know, one of the strengths of her diving is she gets some really good height coming off the board. It was a great job. 7.5, 6.5, and 6 for a grand total of 30 points in that dive. Sonia, representing Avondale's, coming up. Her degree of difficulty, this is the highest degree of difficulty so far tonight. Forward with 2 somersaults in a tuck position, 2.2 difficulty. Didn't quite nail that one. And some of it was on her approach coming off the board as she did that little double hop there. She was too far back from the end of the board when she took off on her dive. She's got to get a little bit closer to the end of the board if she's going to nail that dive. Okay, our next diver representing Avondale, Alex Grapinich. She's doing, this is her, fourth dive, one somersault with a twist, free position. It's got a degree of difficulty of 1.9 on this dive coming up. A little bit of delay here while Coach Rank and the other coach work on their scoring system. Each judge has its own scoring box that they hit their scores on, and it gets translated over here to the scores table. Previous dive, she got a 1.5, a 1, and a 2 for a grand total of 9.9 points.
One somersault, one twist from the free position, degree of difficulty 1.9.
It's the 1.9 difficulty, as I mentioned, for Alex. One somersault with a twist. I think that's a James Bond dive. She's got the mechanics down pretty good, but I'd say this, she started leaning forward too soon. 5.5, 7, 6. And when she leaned over, that took away her upward momentum, made her go forward instead of up. Kira for the Wildcats is doing a forward one somersault with the twist. Same dive. Difficulty is 1.9. Let's compare dives here. Let's see how high she gets up in the air. Got up a little higher, but didn't quite get her arms down to her sides as she entered the water, so the judge will take some points off of that. She's getting a 6.5, a 5.5, a 6 for a 34.2 score. Jenna's coming up. 1.7, one somersault, half twist free. As I said, a 1.7 degree of difficulty on this back dive. Whoa, pretty close to the board. Nice dive.
6.0, Judge 1. Judge 2, 7.0. And Judge 3, 7.0.
6, 7, 7 for a grand total of 34 points. Comes Sonia for the Yellow Jackets. Doing the back dive, Pike, 1.6 for the degree of difficulty. This is her fourth dive. There's 4 dives so far. There are a total of 6 dives for each diver. Decent dive. A little bit of a twist there at the end.
Jackie. Jackie.
Again, we got a little snafu at the scores table. As I mentioned, every dive has its own degree of difficulty. We want to make sure we get this recorded correctly on the computer here at the scores table. That last dive was 6.5, 6.56. She got a 28.5. As I mentioned, this is round 4. Following the diving, we are going to have a brief presentation for the seniors here at Oxford.
Score for judge number 1 is 6.5, number 2 6.5, number 3 6.5.
Once again, Oxford Community Television Charter, channel 191, AT&T, channel 99. Mr. John Ochins, manning the camera, Rod Charles with the microphone. The voice of swimming and diving here in North Oakland County, or voices.
Alex's fifth dive tonight.
Okay, Alex. Alex from Avondale.
Difficulty 1.4.
This is round 5, doing an inward dive tuck, 1.4 degree of difficulty. Nice dive by Alex, very nice dive. Decent height, nice, clean, straight entry. Judges give her 7.5, 7, 7, 30.1.
Kira's fifth dive tonight is a 1
Now Kira
forward 1.5 summer
is on the board.
position. Degree of difficulty 1.6.
Now this degree of difficulty is 1.9. The previous one, the previous diver did a 1.4. I'm sorry, this is a 1.6. She's doing a forward dive, 1.5 somersaults tuck. Nice dive. A little bit of a carryover as you saw when she entered the water. A very nice dive. 6, 6, and 6.5. She gets 29.6.
5-1, 2-2D, forward.
Fifth dive
with a twist
for Jenna. She's doing a forward dive.
1.9.
1 somersault in the twist position. With a twist, rather, free position. And the difficulty rating is 1.9. She does a great job coming off the board. She stays pretty close to the board. Needs to get a little bit tighter. She enters the water, but she gets nice scores on that. 7, 6, 7. She picks up 38 points. One of the benefits of doing a higher degree of difficulty. Okay, here comes Sonia. Her degree of difficulty is 1.5. She's doing an inward dive in the pike position. Personally, I'd give her a 4 on that, but we'll see. Judges are more generous, 6, 6.5, 6.5. I think they are overly generous. She entered the water with a twist, her feet were spread out, and she didn't get very good height.
Back dive in the tuck position.
Alex.
1.5.
Round 6, diver 1.
Diver 1, her final dive tonight. Alex is doing a back dive, tuck position, 1.5. Seven, 6.5, 5.5. 28.5 points.
Kira's last dive tonight is the 1.04.
For the Wildcats, Kira's coming up.
2 somersaults in the tuck position. Degree of difficulty 2.2.
Sorry. It's my cadence. 2.2 difficulty on this 2 somersault dive. This is her most difficult dive. And boy, she nailed it. She's going to pick up some nice points on that one. 8, 7.5, 7.5. Wow. 50.6 points. Great job.
1.5 somersault in the tuck position. Degree of difficulty 1.6.
Here comes Jenna for her final dive of the evening. Forward dive, 1.5 somersaults, tuck. 1.6. Wow. Very good dive. Nice way to end the meet. 7, 7, 7.
Last dive tonight for Sonia.
She gets 33.6.
5-2-2-1-D. Back, one somersault with a half twist in the free position. Degree of difficulty, 1.7.
Sonia's doing a back dive with a somersault, half twist in the free position. The DD is 1.7.
So, judge 8.0, judge 2, 6.5, judge 3, 6.5.
8, 6.5, 6.5.
Portion of
Giving her 35.7 points. We've got a little bit of a event right now to honor the senior swimmers and divers. Once again, OCTV, Charter Channel 191, AT&T Channel 99.
Check. What do I get? One of these?
Right now they're getting ready for the senior awards and the officials are double checking. We have Coach Rank at the pool deck here. Anna and Chuck Chernstrom helping out Jackie this season. For many years, folks are used to seeing Mr. Glenn Walker as an assistant coach. Glenn's a great coach. Glenn couldn't do it this year. Many people know that he is a Oakland County deputy, and his schedule this year just wouldn't work with the practices. Here we go.
Hello everybody and welcome to Oxford's 2015 Senior Night. We thank you for coming to honor our seniors for one last home meet. Our first senior tonight is Gabby Garcia with her parents Heather and Ruben Garcia. Gabby has been on the team for all 4 years of high school and is going to Oakland University to study creative writing or psychology. Gabby's advice for future swimmers is to listen to coach, try your hardest, kick butt, and to have fun. Our second girl is Sarah Mitzel, and her parents Dan and
It says Sophia on it.
Sarah has been on the team for 3 years and is going to Lake Superior State to study forensic science. Sarah's advice for future swimmers is to give it all you got and to be there for your fellow seniors. Next up is Kiana Rule with her parents Karen and David Rule. Kiana has been on the team for 3 years and her favorite event is the 100 freestyle. What she would like to say to future swimmers is to just keep swimming.
Thank you.
Up next is Sophia Warts and her parents Susan and Gary Warts. Sophia's favorite event is the 200 medley relay and the 500 freestyle. She will be attending Northwood next fall to study business. Sophia says her favorite memories were the bus rides to away meets with the whole team. swimmer is Emily Hamilton, and her parents Michelle Jackson and Brian Hamilton. Emily has been on the team for 4 years, and her favorite event is the 100 breaststroke. Her advice for future swimmers is don't be afraid to pee in the pool. Next up is one of our senior captains, Emily Silvis, and her parents, Roger and Mary Silvis. Emily has been swimming with us for 4 years and is hoping to attend CMU to study entrepreneurship. What Emily would like to say to future swimmers is if you try your best, work your hardest, then you will succeed, not only as an individual, but as a team. Our final girl tonight is our other senior captain, Kayla Krebs, and her parents, Carrie and Monty Krebs. She says her favorite events is the 100 fly and 50 free. Kayla will be attending MSU to study business next fall. She says her favorite memory on the team was leagues and will miss all of her teammates the most. Let's give another round of applause to all of our Oxford seniors. We would now like to recognize Avondale seniors and thank you for coming to swim with us tonight. When you hear your name, will you please come forward?
Now we're going to have some Avondale swimmers come up.
Florence Gripinich. Natalie Marsala. And Dana Reichel. Great jobs and good luck to all of our seniors. Thank you.
The pool will now be open for a 10-minute warm-up.
That was a nice thing by the Oxford team here tonight to give a flower to the opponent, the visiting team. The young ladies from Avondale who are finishing their high school career in swimming and diving. You don't see that very often. First class job done by the Oxford Wildcats. Anyhow, let's take a break right now. We've got a few minutes while the swimmers warm up for the next part of the swim meet. Once again, Oxford Community Television. Well, folks, here we are. Following the diving, we have the 100-yard butterfly. Oxford is in even lanes. Emily Silvis is in lane 2. That's the lane closest to the camera. Emily is our senior who sang the national anthem for us. Lane 4, Rachel Cummins. Lane 4, Rachel Cummins. Lane 6, Danielle Kemp. And lane 8, Emily Hamilton. 4 lengths, butterfly. You watch the butterfly. What we want to watch, the two-handed touch as we talked about. You want to see a strong dolphin kick. That's what it's called, a dolphin kick. Both feet must stay together. They're not allowed to flutter separately. They must stay together. And as you notice, both hands come across at the same time. You want to keep your head down. If you lift your head up too high, you get water resistance. So you got to keep the body as pretty much as flat as you can. Otherwise, you'll tire yourself out unnecessarily. Right now, Oxford's got a 1-2, and Emily has a third place here in lane 2. Possibly another sweep by the Wildcats. They're at the turn right now. Last turn. Oxford's 1-2. Emily in third. And Oxford in lane 8 is coming on strong. Got to keep that body flat. Okay, lane 4, lane 6. It's Emily Hamilton in lane 8. Doing a good job over there. Here comes Emily. For a lot of people, just finishing 4 lengths of butterfly is a victory by itself. Nice race. Good job, ladies. Winning time was 1:13.27, it looks like.
The winner is Rachel Cummings from Oxford.
Rachel Cummings looks like, I'm sorry, lane 6, 1:10. Okay, our next race is going to be the freestyle, the 100-yard freestyle. That's 4 lengths, so we're going to have several heats.
2, 4, 6, 2.
Event 7 is the girls 100-yard freestyle. Heat 1 of 3.
4 lengths freestyle.
Freestyle.
These are all Oxford swimmers. Victoria Provo in 3. Emma Di Malenta in 4. Gabriela Garcia in 5. And Anna DeMeglio in lane 6. 4 lengths freestyle. First heat of 3.
Swimming 4 lengths of the pool freestyle. Heat 1 exhibition heat. Timers, clear your watches. Swimmers, step up. Take your mark.
This is an all-Oxford heat. Thank you. Victoria Provo. Lane 4.
As I mentioned before, a key element in all swimming races, at least for competition especially, is going to be the breathing technique. Keeping that head down. Don't lift it up in front of you, but turn it to the side. Blow air out underwater. That gives you more time to grab a breath when you turn your head to the side. Score right now 67-26. 67 for the Wildcats, 26 for the Yellow Jackets. Heat 2 for the freestyle will be lane 2, Kaylin Griffith, lane 4, Gracie Beebe, lane 6, Tate Hamilton, and lane 8, Kate Marsh. Heat 2 coming up.
Flag can start, Mr. Starter.
Timers, clear your watches. Lane 7, clear the water. Lane 7, enter the water. Everyone else step up. Another exhibition, please. Take your mark.
4 lengths. Haley Kornberger has a record in this race set in 2011. Haley swam this in 53.42 seconds. 53.42, Haley set the record. Haley is currently swimming for the Michigan State Spartans. Good swimming there, good race, looking good. Okay, all 4 Oxford Wildcats looking good. Once again, Oxford Community Television, channel 191 on Charter, channel 99 AT&T. Third and final heat of the 100 freestyle. Now this one counts for team points. Though I don't think there's any question that Oxford is going to walk away with this meet tonight. So lane 2, that's the closest to the camera. We're going to have Kayla Krebs. Lane 4 in the middle there, Christina Boydston. Lane 6, Rachel Baker. Lane 8, Hannah Schoenfeld. Jason Leshevich, the official, getting everyone ready to start.
Swimmers, step up. Need a quiet for the start, please.
Quiet for the start.
Take your mark.
Once again, Oxford's in the even lanes. Now the Avondale swimmer in the center of the pool is the same young lady that won the 50 freestyle. That's Flo Grapinich there in lane 5 for Avondale. She has a pretty healthy lead over her Oxford competitors. And she swims about a 59.9, followed by about a 102.9. And Oxford, wow, good job by the Wildcats again, as the Wildcats pick up 2, 3, 4, and 5th place. As I mentioned, the score, 67-26. That's not counting the last several races. Her official time was 1:04. Could have broke a minute if she just reached out her little pinky. Just touched that wall a little quicker. The magic minute mark. Now we have the longest race in high school swimming coming up, the 500-yard freestyle. That's 20 lengths of the pool. As we said, the high school pools across the United States are typically 25 yards. Early on, most pools were 6 lanes. The last 10, 15 years, a lot of high school pools have been going to 8-lane pools from 6. Like everything else, depends on how much money's in the budget. We still don't have official scores yet for diving. There's a few miscues on the electronic system that are being sorted out. So one of the assistants here at the scorer's table is manually double checking everything.
This is the screen we got. I think we're adjusting the timing. We're finished with this event, this heat. 5-4, 2-6, 7-8-3.
Looking across the pool at the far end, we've got colleagues of the swimmers with large placards that they use to hold up to tell them how many lengths they've accomplished. Not just motivational, but sometimes just to help keep track. But I guess if you're along the race, it's going to be motivational, though you're pretty much close to the end of a race if you're length 17 or 19. Okay, so here we go, 500-yard freestyle. As I said, this is the longest race in high school swimming. Now when the lead swimmer has 2 lengths to go, our official, Jason Leshevich, will sound the air horn. Okay, let's get some names behind the goggles here. Lane 2, Emily Viken for the Wildcats. Emily's a sophomore. Lane 4 for the Wildcats, a junior, Bella Gianola. Lane 6, a freshman, Claire Alexander. And then lane 8 for the Wildcats, Marissa Bourne, a junior. So lane 2, Emily, lane 4, Bella, lane 6, Claire, and lane 7 is Marissa. Oxford High School natatorium. Oxford Wildcats against the Avondale Yellow Jackets. Color for Avondale, purple and gold. Once again, the coaches for Oxford, Jackie Rank, assisted by Anna and Chuck Chernstrom. Captains are Danielle Kemp, Emily Silvis, and Kayla Krebs. Jason Leshevitz and Debbie Bunker-Plasters, the 2 officials tonight. Mr. John Ochins running the camera, and this is Rod Charles manning the microphone. Let's take a look at some of the strokes that you use in the freestyle and talk about that a little bit, because there's a distinctive difference between a sprint race and a race like a 500. Obviously, in a 500 race, you don't want to burn out your energy, so you got to conserve energy and pace yourself. Pacing is really important. Let's start here, and let's take a look at our swimmer in lane 3 from Avondale. She's got a yellow cap on. Just working on her 7th length. Okay. Take a look here. You notice that kick, it's not a strong flutter kick like you see in a sprint race. Here again, you don't want to burn out your energy at a distance. One thing I'd critique her on, if I may say so politely, if you watch, especially with her left arm, she's got her elbows hitting the water first. You want to get those elbows up high in the sky, as we like to say in coaching. Just gives a little bit more power to the stroke, cleaner entry. So if you take a look at Bella, for example, on the next lane over, Bella's just finishing her 9th. If you watch Bella right there in the center of the pool, lane 4, see those elbows? So they come up high. And her kick, by the way, is a more consistent kick. Got her head low, keeping her head low, and you watch, turns her head to the side, grabs some air, puts her face back down. Good technique by Bella right there. Lane 4. But those are some things that you work on in practice. You want to kick, obviously, the most efficient kick you can, and those arms are of critical importance because that's where most of your speed's going to come from. Okay, I see official Jason Shevitz walking over in the bulkhead now with the air horn. Our lead swimmer, lane 4 for the Wildcats, Bella Gianola. Approaching her 17th length. So she gets closer to this end where Jason is standing over there in lane 4. He's going to shoot off the air gun. That tells everybody, including her, that she's only got 2 lengths to go. Okay, nice swim there by Bella. She broke 6 minutes. That's a nice accomplishment. And, I don't know, let's see what happens over here in 6. Might be under 6 minutes, hard to tell. So, Claire would be very close. Well, looks like about a 6:10. Lane 7, still working on it. A lot of people would be surprised how much swimming goes on in a swim workout. A 500-yard freestyle is something most people just can't do, but for a swimmer, it's not even a warm-up. A lot of swimming practices, they're doing 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 yards. It's all about that conditioning. And interspersed with that, a coach must also spend time on strength. Get those necessary muscles to pull and kick your way, or if you're a diver, to get good lift off the board. And the third factor that a coach has to work on is technique. Things that I mentioned, like getting the elbow up so you get a nice entry in the water when you're doing your pull, getting the appropriate kick, be it backstroke or the flutter kick or the dolphin kick for butterfly, etc. So 3 things, endurance, technique, strength. In fact, you could say that is critical in all sports. Could be wrestling, could be football, could be diving, could be swimming. Strength, technique, endurance. Okay, the 9th event's coming up. One of the fun races. They're all fun, but everyone loves relay races, especially a sprint relay race like this one, the 200 freestyle relay. Each swimmer does only 2 lengths. Like all relay races, you got to make sure that the swimmer at the beginning, the first swimmer touches the wall before the next swimmer has their feet leave the block. Body can be in motion, they can be leaning over and going through the air, but they've got to have their feet on the block until the preceding swimmer finishes. So timing is of critical importance. It's one of the things the officials look for to make sure that no one leaves even a nanosecond too soon. Okay, Oxford's in the even lanes. Lane 2, Kira Vettinglia, Sophia Wirtz, Emma DiMolenta, and Emily Hamilton. Lane 4, Victoria McLennan, Emily Silvis, Rachel Cummins, and Hannah Schoenfeld. 6, Danielle Kemp, Kaylin Griffith, Kayla Grebs, and Gracie Beebe. Lane 7, Gabriela Garcia, Victoria Provo, Anna DeMeglio, and Kate Marsh. Each swimmer 2 lengths. There's quite a race going on over here at the far side, kind of in the middle of the pool there. Lane 5 and lane 6. It looks like Oxford's going to pull it out. So the Wildcats get 1-2, and Avondale gets a third. So Oxford picks up 12 points. Avondale gets 2 points on that race. Score right now is 92 to 33. 92 for Oxford, 33 for our friends from Avondale. Winning time was 156.2. Second place was 2:02. Next race is the 4-length backstroke, 100 yards. As we said earlier with the backstroke, one of the developments in backstroke is how far they go underwater when they do their turns. It's amazing, especially when they're tired out and their lungs are burning. They have to hold their breath underwater, upside down. In other words, they have to be on their back underwater and hold their breath. At the same time, be fast while you're tired. So backstroke we're going to have in lane 2. Paige Hodder, she's a freshman. Lane 4, Danielle Kemp, a junior. Lane 6, Paisley Arendt, a junior. And on the far side, Gabriela Garcia, a senior for the Wildcats.
Quiet to the start. Mr. Starter.
Okay, we're ready to roll. Okay, swimmers are starting the water, of course. Let's watch to see how far the swimmers go underwater when they come off the wall.
In lane 2, Paige Hodder of Oxford. In lane 3, Isabel Bolden of Avondale. In lane 4, Danielle Kemp of Oxford.
Same thing in the turn. Now in the turns, just before they hit the wall, they're going to turn on their stomachs and do a flip turn. They're allowed to do one stroke. If you do 2 strokes, they're disqualified. Right now we've got a 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 6 for the Wildcats. Well, it looks like another sweep by the Wildcats. And over there, Gabriela is battling it out in lane 8 against lane 7. Winning time's about a 1:16. Looks like 1:16.7.
And the winner of the backstroke from Oxford, Danielle Kemp, with a time of 1 minute, 16.7 seconds.
The next race is going to be the breaststroke. 4 lengths. Lane 2, Emily Hamilton, a senior. Lane 4, Rachel Cummins, a sophomore. Lane 6, Victoria McLennan, a sophomore. And on the far side of the pool, Sophia Wirtz, a senior. 4 lengths breaststroke. Breaststroke obviously is the frog stroke, as many people call it, for the kicking. The arm movement, 2-hand touch against the walls at the turn and at the finish. And in watching the breaststroke technique, what you want to see again is you want to keep the head low. The arms should be fully stretched out in front. And a key thing to watch when teaching competition breaststroke is to make sure the arms don't pull back too far. You know, you look at beginning swimmers or recreation swimmers, they do the breaststroke, they pull their arms back way far. A competition swimmer is not going to do that. Those arms are going to stay out and pretty much in front of you. Even when after they've pulled back, they don't come back nearly as far as a recreational swimmer would do. And that's just purely for speed. But if you watch this race, you're going to see the fastest breaststrokers, their arm strokes are going to be pretty much all out in front of their head. They will not pull their arms way back behind their body like you'd see in someone's backyard pool.
Number 2, Oxford, Emily Hamilton. Lane 3, Lane 4, Avondale from Access Kids. Lane 6, Victoria Cummins from Oxford. Lane 7, Isabel Garcia.
4 lengths.
Sophia Wirtz from Oxford.
Out of 39 for the split. 1-2 for Oxford. Avondale's got a solid third place at this point. Close race over here, lanes 2 and 3, but the Oxford swimmer just touched out the Avondale swimmer. That was lane 2 and lane 3. That was Emily Hamilton there in lane 2. Next race is the final race of the evening. Can you believe it? It's a relay. 400-yard freestyle relay. Each swimmer does 4 lengths.
Nice job, dear. Thank you.
Lane 2, we have Marissa Bourne, Paige Hodder, Tate Hamilton, Paisley Arendt. Lane 4, Claire Alexander, Danielle Kemp, Christina Boydston, and Bella Gianola. Lane 6 for the Wildcats, Rachel Baker, Gracie Beebe, Kayla Krebs, and Ellie Viken. On the far side in lane 7 for the Wildcats, Emma DiMolenta, Kate Marsh, Sophia Wirtz, and Gabriela Garcia. Here we go. Last race. So for the seniors, this is their last dual meet at home. Okay. Our second swimmers are into the water. Each swimmer is doing 4 lengths. Chad, what's the score right now?
We need to verify the scoring. Right now, we need to double check to make sure that the diving scores went in accurately. Okay. So I hesitate to broadcast that so far.
Okay. So the score we see there, that 126-45, does that include diving or not?
That includes the diving scores that are in there right now, but like I said, we just need to go back and just double check.
Just double check the diving. Okay. Just checking with Chad at the scores table. We want to make sure that the diving is done right. There was some technical glitches at during the diving obviously it's not going to affect the outcome of the meet. When we finish the freestyle relay, we won't know the official score, but it's safe to say, as I mentioned, that Oxford has handily won this dual swimming and diving meet between the Oxford Wildcats and the Avondale Yellow Jackets. Once again, Oxford Community Television, OCCTV.org. That's Charter, Channel 191, and AT&T Channel 99. This is Rod Charles and Mr. John Ochins. Station manager is Mr. Bill Service. Phone number, if you care to call the station, is 248-628-9658. So Oxford takes a 1-2 in the 400 freestyle relay. Once again, folks, Oxford Community Television, Charter Channel 191, AT&T Channel 99. Mr. John Ochins with the camera, and this is Rod Charles with the microphone. Folks, we're all done tonight. The swimming and diving's over, and we will see you around the pool.